And we are live. NashvilleLou live back on the air with Journey of Wrestling and Twitchy Tides, December 27th, 2024. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Right now we have 6 people in for this first Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. If you want to join the list, type !play in chat. We'll need a minimum of 10 players to get a game that counts for the leaderboard points. So we'll have that here hopefully in just a little bit. Greetings and welcome, everybody. I was about to sneeze there. I was trying to hold off. All right, well, we've got 8 people in right now for the first Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. Get things loaded up here with the game Journey of Wrestling. Been playing this the last couple of nights. Playing as All Elite Wrestling, but specifically concentrating on Ring of Honor, trying to be a place to create some new stars for that company. New young stars. One I want right here. I'd hope the auto booker was going to do a better job than it has as far as setting up these shows for AEW. I was trying to just do the Ring of Honor stuff. That wasn't going to happen, so I had to go through and set up some feuds. This game essentially is about the business of pro wrestling. You don't play any matches. It's about trying to have a book or a matchmaker. It's for AEW, trying to set up this world title match. They're going to have, they had John Moxley suspended for a month. I had to really scale things back with that auto mod. Trusted a bit too much and decided to be a good idea to suspend the very popular heel world champion for a month. Keep him off of TV. So at least he was fresh to come back to feud with Swerve Strickland. Well, we've got 10 people in for this first Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. I'll join as well with !play. I like to reward people that are able to get here. I know sometimes my start times are irregular and under-promoted. Sometimes me just testing out this in different formats and different time slots. Stand by, please. All right. I realized I had this post ready to... Used to be easier when you could say tweet or just had ready to tweet it. Ready to post it on X. But I hadn't since send. Anyway, so it's sent now. So we got 13 people in for this first Twitchy Tides game. We're looking for a top 10 finish here. That'll give you leaderboard points. Monthly competition. Only a few days left here in the month and the year, for that matter. So for the top 10 finishers here, you'll get leaderboard points for the winner. The prize, a Blockchain Brawlers attack card, plus an item from the NashvilleLou collection that'll give you a boost in the fun new game, Meta Battler. We've added a bunch of new prizes to Meta Battler. Pretty savvy moves to keep people encouraged to play on a daily basis. All right, so let's go through this list of players here. We got 14 in. We got Cesaro NLV, Hussein Muhammad, Kyung Wei, Mike Ruja, Autumn's Toys, Ajiba, Bo Reddington, Admata, Nadu 6, Parrots, Jamie Penguins, CTR Heels Fan, Jess Tony, and me, NashvilleLou, the Vape Ape. So that's 14 players. Let's get this first game of the broadcast started. Begins now. Good luck. And right away, a cannonball comes through, takes out Kyung Wei, takes out My Fish, takes out Jamie Penguins, down to 11. depth charge. Jaiba gets taken out right there. We're down to 10. So for the remaining players, you've earned leaderboard points. The better you do, the more points you earn. As always, the question, who's going to be the winner? Debo the Shark takes out Parrot and Hussein. We're down to 8. Most of the enemies I have capped at 2 kills per crossing. It's 3, though, for a cannonball, so keep that in mind. And with a depth charge, sometimes it has a mind of its own. Debo's up top going left to right with that Lambo. Bo Reddington making it rain. Autumn's Toys gets chomped there by Debo. Debo got popped by something. Stopped him there from doing any further damage. We're down to 7, so half the field is out. Here's Pink Felicia. Going down Broadway left to right. Taking out Jess Tony, taking out Unmata. Down to 5. Big Worm with a hook on that right side. Hiding there in the high grass. But Reddington deciding to exit stage right with that Lambo to make it rain. Cesaro NLV with that Whaley Grayley hits the hook. Gets taken out. We're down to 4. Nadu 6. Bo Reddington. My Druja. CTR Heels fan. There's the hook. Big Worm. And there goes my Druja. We're down to 3. CTR Heels fan. Bo Reddington. Nadu 6. First game of the broadcast. And now it's Debo. Debo the Shark taking out Nadu. Down to this final 2. CTR Heels fan with a freeze there. And Bo Reddington. Spin move by CTR Heels fan with Big Worm of the hook right there. Bo Reddington using that Lambo command. Disappearing off screen for a little bit, then coming back to make it rain. Gets that bounce, the proper angle. Bit of a circuit there to have to work to get around Big Worm. Now CTR Heels fan, a similar challenge. Big Worm finally gave up on that try. Cannonball. The Cannonball takes out Bo Reddington. That's going to do it. Congratulations, CTR Heels fan. Victorious here in this first game of the broadcast. Have my notes set up for this. Ours with the winners list. So I've got that set up now. CTR Heels fan victorious here in this first game of the broadcast. And along with that, for the top 10 finishers, you earned leaderboard points. Those critical battles we're going to have here these last few days. Prepare it on up. All the way to number 1, and your winner, CTR Heels fan. All right, back open for our next Twitchy Tides game. You can get in now with exclamation point play in chat. Get back into Journey of Wrestling. Just getting started with that. When we want to get that first game in, we had enough people ready to go. So I'm playing as really the booker of Ring of Honor, this company that's owned by the same person that owns All Elite Wrestling, a guy named Tony Khan. So, but in the game, the auto booker just does these outrageous things that make very little sense. So, kind of been the role of matchmaker. I don't always tell them who's going to win, but I'll set up the matches. So for Collision, it's like the third of 3 shows for the week. Got Dynamite, and I got that Ring of Honor show that I've been kind of tasked myself with as far as trying to develop some new talent. And then Collision here. It's a little tricky to keep the Ring of Honor stuff separate. Some feuds are hotter than others. But Omega and Takeshita have main evented the last pay-per-view. They're still got their feud going on. Because the auto booker decided to be a clever idea to suspend Jon Moxley for a month. So the world champion not available for the pay-per-view made the best of the international title. That main evented. Now, as part of what the list of instructions I was given, My video game Tony Khan. See, one left for the holding two 4 3/4 higher ranked Iron Man matches. So I had Omega and Takeshita. Had some space there for that main event to have an Iron Man match with Moxley out. And they got 4 3/4, exactly what I needed. So I've got one more of those, and it's either February or March. I think it's still February in game time. In other words, plenty of time to have another later in the year and hopefully do that well. All right, so something with Omega and Takeshita, I could do that here. Hangman and Ospreay, I think really that's maybe more the way to go. Britt Mercedes already had a couple of matches. I don't know how much more I'll get out of that. Maybe find a way to transition to a new feud for Mercedes Moné. We've already got 11 people in for this next Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. You want to join the list? Just type !play in chat. I'm not sure how long this broadcast will be tonight. I wasn't planning to go more than 5 hours yesterday. Just kind of the way it worked out. I'll worry about the roster maybe a little bit later, as far as the who's in what brand, as far as AEW and Ring of Honor. But for Collision, all right, let's see. We're a match as opposed to a segment. Just kind of get a feel for how the wrestlers are doing. You want your fatigue to be lower than 40%. So 27% for Omega. No need to rush him back in. Moxley's fresh. Do a big match with Moxley and like an 8-man tag main event. Moxley and the Death Riders. Then the question is, who do you put him in there with? Because the idea is to go have Moxley versus Swerve. Maybe the better idea is to have Swerve. Maybe Swerve can main event and beat somebody. Program for Swerve is with Mox. Maybe have Swerve take on. Let's see. Claudio's really good. Got Pac in there. Swerve versus Pac would be interesting. And maybe have Moxley do something after that for the some sort of conclusion angle. It's a heat spot to end the show. Let's see. Star power up in here. Lashley just beats people. Still him out there. I don't give him a finish. He just wins. Could make it a trios match. Or a tag team match for him and Shelton Benjamin as a team. Jericho, I'm really saving him for Ring of Honor at this point. Cash just won that championship back from Omega. Got Mariah May. Do some stuff to advance Jay White and Kyle Fletcher from the last show. Had a DQ finish, which I typically don't do. That got it started there. Whoa, what did I do here? And I don't want to have Claudio against Pac. Wasn't trying to do that. Not sure why Pac is grayed out here. It's fatigue 0%. Not available for some reason. Okay, the greatest match. The one problem this has that started with 2024 instead of 2025 for whatever reason the database got messed up. Great. But if you get past that, again, it's a video game, so I get too caught up in it. But I'm more worried, just confused. Why can't I book the match with him? Why is he grayed out? Did I go for... Oh, you know what? He's working the main event. Never mind. Thrown off here. Was I going to do that with Swerve against Pac? Because, yeah, I'm building a Swerve versus Moxley. Okay. Got 15 people in for the next Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. If you want to join the list, just type !play in chat. And a lot of people near that 700 level, which is pretty nice. Quite a luxury, actually. Powerhouse Hobbs. Get him a match. Hobbs against Brian Cage. Couple matches there. Let's see. Mercedes Moné. Her fatigue is low. We're gonna do a tag team match, or well, she's the TBS champion. I'd have her do a match. I mean, I guess Collision doesn't. Just, I'm working for TV. It doesn't matter which, if it's TBS or TNT. That's really doesn't matter. All right, but Mercedes Moné, she's got it's the secondary title. It didn't have to be defended a bit more, but wider range of potential opponents. And go. Although I don't know if I want to do that here. She just had the defense. Maybe a tag team match makes more sense. Switch this to 2v2. We got 20 people in for this next Twitchy Tides game. If you want to get in, you can do so by typing !play in chat. Playing the game Journey of Wrestling. I think setting up a tag team match here. Mercedes. Athena's over in Ring of Honor, so I can't really bring her in. I could. I can do whatever, but I better not to. Mercedes and Mercedes. I think that needs to happen. Team Mercedes. Britt Baker. Bleeder. And Nyla Rose. Mercedes and Mercedes against Britt Baker and Nyla Rose. Book it. New challenger. Again, there's a little bit of heat behind that with that ongoing Mercedes Moné Britt Baker storyline. Position it there. I've been going with usually about 7 match/segments for these shows, for AEW in particular. But it is kind of open-ended as well. Segments, feuds, Moxley and Swerve, feud, fight. Surprise attack. I don't think Moxley needs a producer to help him with a beatdown segment. Okay. Playing the game Journey of Wrestling here on NashvilleLou Live. Got 23 people in for that next game of Twitchy Tides. If you want to join the list, you want to get into that next game, all you have to do is type !play in chat. Want to push it too much with Omega and Takeshita as far as the potential staleness. Jay White and Kyle Fletcher, that can be a talking segment of some sort. Stare down. Backstage confrontation. A promo battle for Jay White and Kyle Fletcher. Well, that's a lot of... Well, we can open the show with that. We'll have Powerhouse and Brian Cage more toward the middle. There'll be a little bit of buffer there for Don Callis. Not that he couldn't handle it, but there's a lot of people to work into a relatively small amount of television time. Those minutes. Only so many of them. I want to produce these make-believe producers they have here. Oh, I should pick the participants. Okay. Fair enough. Jay White and Kyle Fletcher with Don Callis. Some sort of buffer between that and the Powerhouse Hobbs match. Put this up here. Go back over to match. Go tag team match. Go. 3v3. Let's see, there's Malachi. Go with House of Black in a trios match. I'll make sure I pick the participants. They don't sneak in Julia Hart. Make it a intergender match. Buddy, and then where is Brody? Or is Brody King injured? No, there he is. Shouldn't be injured. They're actually all baby faces, so look for a heel trio to put up against them. Butcher and the Blade back. They have them in there with somebody. I could save that for a different spot. Butcher, the Blade. when Silas Youngwin. Although he's on the Ring of Honor side, Silas is, so maybe not him. Playing Journey of Wrestling here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game coming up here in a few minutes. If you want to get in on that, you can do that. You can do so by typing !play in chat. !play for Twitchy Tides. Let's see. Somebody to team up with the Butcher and the Blade. Take on House of Black in a trios match. Got Lance Archer on the AEW side, which actually does match up. He's 47, and he's got a presence. That dude, when it's time to go as far as performing as a wrestler, he's got that presence down. Not available. Have QT Marshall in there. He's on the Ring of Honor side, so I won't do that. Could have Big Bill in there, although I still have Big Bill and Brian Keith aligned. With Jericho over in Ring of Honor right now, they're kind of hanging out here. Also, exhaustion to take into consideration, although some of these wrestlers don't get to work that much, so the fatigue is lower than you might think. Well, Scorpio Sky, he's got a 650 popularity. House of Black against the Butcher, the Blade, and Scorpio Sky. Book it. The trios matchup there. Open with Powerhouse Hobbs against Brian Cage. They're working a promo down here of some sort. In a video package, maybe. Segment. Productions where they have a lot of the video stuff. Really just the cash that it deserves. Won the main event of the last pay-per-view. Keep promoting him. 27 years old. Dude can work. He's legit. Alright, so it's Takeshita. And that's some producer focus for it. Video package. Well, there's a lot of Don Callis, which isn't There and there and there. All right, you know what? We'll save that for Dynamite for next week. How about that? How about Osprey or MJF maybe? There we go. So we'll open the Powerhouse against Brian Cage. And go to MJF and on from there. But before we do that, let's get this next Twitchy Tides game going. We've got 25 players in for it now. I'll join as well with exclamation point play. I'll use the Rocco that I've got in the 5 spot. My Twitchy team. Remember, you can designate 5 different spots within your Twitchy Tides fish. What they call the Twitchy team. Numbers 1 through 5. Makes it very easy to switch or designate from a group of fish as opposed to just one and having to go in and switch out the one fish every time you want to use a different one. It works out well, is kind of my point. We've got 26 players in. You're looking for a top 10 finish here, so that's going to give you leaderboard points. Most of you here already know this, how important it is. We get close to the end of the month for that monthly competition. All important leaderboard points. You need a top 10 finish to get that. Of course, the higher the finish, the more points you earn. In addition, for the winner, the prize is a Blockchain Brawlers attack card, plus an item from the NashvilleLou collection, which is my artwork on wax. It'll give you a boost in the fun new game, Meta Battler. So for this, we have CTR Heels Fan, Jakey Joe, SDME123, Jess Tony, Bo Reddington, Hyung Wei, Hussein Muhammad, Ajiba, Ivanov 007, Notorious Ninja, Jamie Penguins, Autumn's Toys, Winterfell, Bonnie T, Mancy, Tree Frog Nada, Unmada, Random King, Cesaro NLV, Cartman Bra, Aegis 2017, Parrot, DeBoer JS, Azile, me, NashvilleLou, and Viper Czar, that's 26. If I win, that first place prize goes to the second place finisher. All right, game number 2 of the broadcast begins now. Good luck. It's Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have more of Journey of Wrestling here in a few minutes. Right away, Cannonball takes out Cartman Bra, Winterfell. And Ajiba, we're down to 23. Over in that left bottom corner, Big Worm with a hook takes out Cesaro NLV along with Jamie Penguins. Down to 21. Depth charge. Hussein's out along with Notorious Ninja. We're down to 19. Depth charge again. That one takes out DeBoer JS down to 18. This is Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. Now it's Pink Felicia going right to left, bottom part of the screen. Took out Autumn's Toys and Viper Czar, down to 16. Up top, a Cannonball. It eliminates SDME123. We're down to 15. Another Cannonball. This one takes out Tree Frog Nada, Jess Tony, and CTR Heels Fan. More than half the field is out. We're down to a dozen. Pink Felicia. Jakey is out, down to 11. Unmada is out. We're down to 10. So for the remaining fish, got a top 10 finish. Leaderboard points, but who's going to be the winner? Depth charge takes out Parrot, one with Aegis 2017, down to 8. Big Worm with a hook. Hyung Wei's out. We're down to 7. The hook from Big Worm takes out Random King. We're down to 6. Bo Reddington uses the Lambo command. Gonna make it rain underwater. Now it's Pink Felicia up top. Pink Felicia zaps Azile. We're down to 5. Big Worm with a hook. Takes out Man C. We're down to the final 4. Fawny T, Ivanov 007, Bo Reddington, and me, NashvilleLou. Pink Felicia. Going left to right. Taking out Bo Reddington and Fawny T. So it's down to Ivanov and me. So Ivanov's going to get the prize even if I win. Let's see who the winner is going to be. Here comes Debo the Shark. I think we'll both get underneath Debo. Be well clear. We began with 26. We're down to 2. It's me, Ivanov 007. I've got the Rocco fish, Ivanov with the clownfish. It's a cannonball taking out Ivanov. So the winner is me. I get the win, but the way it works here, if I happen to win with one of these, that first place prize goes to the second place winner. So Ivanov 007. My notes. Prizes will be sent out shortly after the conclusion of the broadcast. And those will be sent from my fulfillments wallets on Wax. I have the proper mouse selected here. Scroll down and remind everybody, top 10 finishers, you earn leaderboard points. So for Parrot on up, higher the finish, the more leaderboard points, all the way up to me at number 1, the winner. Back open now for our next Twitchy Tides game. Rigged. I'll throw in a sus. But it's exclamation point play to get in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. I'll get back into it with Journey of Wrestling. Right away we got 7, 8. The number's going to keep growing. People in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. You can get in with exclamation point play in chat. We're trying to set up this TV show here. But really I'm in a good spot. It's got to make sure the order makes sense. Don Callis, he's talented enough. He can do every segment potentially, but I'm going to try and spread him out a bit. I'm holding off on a promo package about Takeshita. We'll have him over there with Brian Cage against Powerhouse Hobbs. Bit of a backstory to that. MJF video package. Mercedes and Mercedes teaming up against Britt Baker and Nyla Rose. Trios match. The Butcher and the Blade. Both healthy. And Don Callis shows back up for this Kyle Fletcher promo battle with Switchblade Jay White. Main event Swerve against Pac. Post-match, Moxley attacks Swerve. Pretty solid episode of Collision. Again, I was hoping the auto booker would be able to handle a lot more of this, but let's give me some latitude to have some creative input into the process. Are you sure you want to play the event? Yes. All right, so Powerhouse Hobbs against Brian Cage. And with the Ring of Honor stuff, I've been, not all the time, but with a lot of it, just been choosing Simulate. Send them out there without a finish and see who wins. Powerhouse Hobbs beats Brian Cage. Arena quarter stars. All right. MJF video package. The video package, Prestige, 4 3/4 stars. AEW's video department, as usual, delivering the goods. All right, so Mercedes and Mercedes against Britt and Nyla. Team Mercedes gets the win. Comedy chops. So a couple of 3 1/4 star matches, all right? See if this changes things. House of Black against Butcher the Blade and Scorpio Sky. And look, the Butcher the Blade and Scorpio Sky got the win. 3 1/2 stars. All right, Jay White and Kyle Fletcher. They embarrassed each other about their worst in-ring losses. 4 1/4, 100% effective. I guess the MJF one was 93%. That's not bad either. 100%. Can't get better than that. Now the main event, Swerve against Pac. And while normally I do, now Pac, he's got the belt. That's the AEW Trios Championship, the 6-man. But we're setting up Swerve to challenge Moxley, the pay-per-view, so sorry, Pac. Swerve goes over 3 1/2 stars. Let's hope this post-match attack from Moxley finishes the program on a strong note. We're going to select who performs it. Well, it's the attacks coming from Moxley. So Swerve is cutting a promo. Moxley sneaks in from behind to attack him. Jon Moxley beats down Swerve Strickland and leaves him laying in the ring. And that's a nice 4 1/4 stars. Plus 92 hype. So not the best episode of Collision you'll ever have, but pretty solid elements to it. Okay, that's supposed to be the autobooker's job. Game data save to the cloud. We've got 19 people in already for this next game of Twitchy Tides. If you want to join, if you want to get in, you can do so. With exclamation point play in chat. All right, we choose to continue. You have to scroll down to get to continue for this part at the end, for whatever reason. Video package hype. What do we have up here? There we go, plus 15,400 fans. The same star rating overall for the show as WWE and New Japan. GCW had a real strong show apparently. Continue. All right, so again, it's like it's a year behind what it should be. Got thrown off of this being close to the new year, starting in 2024, when it should have been 2025. So you just get past that, then the rest of it, at least by pro wrestling video game management standards, makes sense. Nothing needs my attention. It turns out in real life, Athena, they had an angle in Ring of Honor that I was not aware of. Like 2 months ago, where they gave her a spinner belt, kind of like the old John Cena WWE US Championship, and had a little spinner. And later, I guess the big title too. So I'm not sure if that was like somebody who takes care of that meticulous detail this game has with the real world up-to-date pro wrestling landscape, who's where and who's healthy, etc. If that was put in there because of that, or if that was just one of those coincidences of life. Some people say there's no such thing as a coincidence in pro wrestling. This is a video game. It's a live stream. I'm not a promoter trying to run an outlaw promotion here. Got a lot of people injured too. All right, so Dynamite for this next week. 1 show to Revolution. So that's like what they call the go-home show. The last Dynamite before the pay-per-view. Which will also have Collision before that. Jabronis. Maximum 500. There's always room for more. Actually, I went through this before. The best way to kind of get a feel for how things are is just go to booking a singles match, and then you go down. I'll tell you all the pertinent information. It lists by popularity who's the most over, which is a good thing. So they got the pay-per-view this Sunday, or whatever. I guess it would be in-game after Collision. So this is within a week of this show. So I don't want anybody being too grueling of a match. Moxley's got 0% fatigue, so he's pretty fresh. Young Bucks are still a bit tired, still worn down from that violent match they had at the last pay-per-view. Playing Journey of Wrestling here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game coming up. You can get in on it by typing !play in chat. All right, so Takeshita. I really want to go back to Takeshita and Omega again at the pay-per-views. There's that element of who will he actually have to wrestle against there, or do I save him for somewhere else? Could do a tag match here. It'd be Takeshita and let's see, how is Kyle Fletcher? Oh, and 1, okay. I don't know. I want to go with Fletcher versus White again. They just had the match with that DQ finish before. I could have him some sort of a match at the pay-per-view, but I'd like to get Fletcher a win. Now, some sort of segment with Swerve and Moxley. Could make it like Moxley and Claudio against Swerve and somebody, maybe. I don't know. Orange Cassidy, have him in action. Didn't really have a sort of program going, but there are options. Maybe I can set up FTR for that turn. Flip them from face to heel. Although I worry the game's going to think it's too soon, because everybody, when this game started, it was at a certain point. Like, you've been a heel or you've been a babyface for 2 months. And I think they might penalize them for flipping anybody too quickly. So that somewhat kept things in place as far as the babyface and heel dynamics go. Let's do a tag team match. We'll book backward from the main event. So, maybe Moxley. Push this to 2v2. Moxley. Claudio with that 0% fatigue. I get Moxley and Claudio against Swerve and somebody. Possibly. Doesn't have to be that way. I could just say, well... Alright, so we're getting Swerve, and who would he be aligned with here? Maybe not Ray Phoenix. Throw in Ricky Starks. Maybe. I don't know. Ortiz just came back. Put him in a prominent spot right away. I don't know if Ortiz teaming up with Swerve that's the thing with Swerve, you gotta pick the right partner for him. So it makes sense. Commander. Gotta make sure to have Commander defend the Ring of Honor television title. It occurred to me I haven't either of those TV titles defended yet. I started doing this, so work that into the program on Wednesday or whatever the day is that maybe this is Wednesday. It didn't really tell you the days of the week in the game. All right, so what do we do? We got here Moxley and Claudio against Swerve and got Darby Allin, but I don't know about using Darby there. Ricochet's a heel. Have it be Hook. At least he's over. Moxley and Claudio against Swerve and Hook. There. Mariah May. Another Mariah and Saraya tag match. Split interview. We'll do this with Omega and Keshna. That'll be a little bit more effective than just a promo video package about Takeshita. I could use that package for somebody else potentially. Add producer focus. Enhance. Oh, I've got to pick the participants. That would help. There's the issue of not really having a program for Mariah May. Man, I could go to her against Toni Storm. But that's kind of an unusual storyline anyway in real life, so trying to port that over here to the video game version, a bit tricky. We've got 24 players into this next game of Twitchy Tides. I'll take my hourly break now. Be about a 5-minute break. On the other side of that, we'll have our next Twitchy Tides game. There are 24 players in right now. If you haven't joined yet and you want to play, go ahead and get in with !play in chat. Journey of Wrestling and Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. Stay tuned. All right, back on headset with you here on NashvilleLou Live. We got 25 players in for this next game. The last chance to join if you want to here for this game with exclamation point play in chat. Take down the overlay. I'll join as well with exclamation mark play. Stick with the one spot in my Twitchy team where I've got the Rainbow Soul of the Catfish, a rare exclusive. So you're looking for a top 10 finish here. That's going to give you points in that leaderboard competition, that monthly competition. Last few days of it, people looking to get those top 10 finishes, get those points. In addition, for the winner, the prize is a Blockchain Brawlers Attack card, plus an item from the NashvilleLou collection that'll give you a boost in the fun new game Meta Battler. We've got Man C, Jess Tony, Notorious Ninja, Hussein Muhammad, CTR Heels Fan, Viper Czar, Jakey Joe, Bo Reddington, Autumn's Toys, Aegis 2017, Bonnie T, Ajaiba, Pyong Wei, Jamie Penguins, Frog Nada, SDME123, Cesaro NLV, Zach Bonifer, Admata, Azile, Brazen Blake, DeBoer JS, Winterfell, Parrots, Rock Metal, hey there. Me, NashvilleLou, Rising Dragon. So we got 27 people in for this next game. It really is an insatiable demand for Twitchy Tides. Around the clock, people are looking to play. Alright, so for this next game, if I happen to win again, like what happened in the last game, then prize goes to second place. Alright, game number 3 of the broadcast begins now. Good luck. It's Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. And right away, I'm out along with Brazen Blake thanks to that depth charge. The warning for Pink Felicia, but if she was coming in from the left, she might have never even made it past the threshold to show up on screen. Some of these fish commands are keeping the enemies at bay, at least for a while. Most opponents here are capped at 2 kills maximum per crossing. The cannonball, it's 3. We have got it set up. Depth charge. Takes out a Zaya along with Rock Metal. A chain reaction effect. We're down to 23. Big Worm with the hook. Jess Tony is out along with Rising Dragons. We're down to 21. Pink Felicia eliminates Tree Frog Nod. I think it's popped there with that super spin from Autumn's Toys. Depth charge. Cesaro's out along with SDME. We're down to 18. Big Worm with that hook. Takes out Notorious Ninja, and Ajaiba down to 16. Pink Felicia eliminates Aegis 2017 and Viper Czar down to 14. Cannonball. That Cannonball on the low side, taking out Jakey, Parrot, and Zach Bonifer down to 11. Another Cannonball takes out CTR Heels Fan, along with Kyong Wei and Unmata. The latter two at least got a top 10 finish. They, along with the remaining 8, will get leaderboard points in that monthly competition. Now a depth charge. Takes out Bo Reddington, takes out Hussein. We're down to 6. Cannonball that's going to miss all 6 fish. This is Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have more of Journey of Wrestling here in a few minutes. Cannonball misses everybody again. That high shot missed all 6 remaining fish. Depth charge. There goes Autumn's Toys with a boom. We're down to 5. Depth charge, bottom left part of that Twitchy Tide sign on the left side of the screen. Hard to miss that blinking red. It's ominous. Taking out Man C, taking out Jamie Penguins. We're down to 3. DeBoer JS, Fonny T, Winterfell, the last 3. Depth charge, there goes DeBoer JS. Down to the final 2, Fonny T and Winterfell. Spin move by Fonny T over there in that bottom right corner by the coral. Big worm is set up by that Twitchy Tide sign. There goes Fonny T, and that's the game. Congratulations. Winterfell, victorious here in game number 3 of the broadcast in Twitchy Tides. So for the top 10 finishers, Young Wei on up. Earned leaderboard points in that monthly competition. All the way up to number 1 in your winter. And your winner is Winterfell. Winter is the winner. All right, back open for the next Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. You can get in with exclamation point play in chat. I'd like to show the slate off. This is the game Journey of Wrestling here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have more Twitchy Tides here in a bit. I'm playing ostensibly as Ring of Honor, running that particular brand for AEW, but because the auto booker is not very good at putting together coherent wrestling shows, at least the way I like them to be, kind of taken over for that, and then in many cases just send them out there without a finish and see what happens. So this is the final week of shows before the pay-per-view. The one show to Revolution. That's the pay-per-view there to end the month or start March or however you want to look at it. Setting up Swerve against Moxley. Main event of the pay-per-view for the world title. Omega and Takeshi has been ongoing feud. The staleness, I mean, it's 3 out of 7, so there's some... Had a slow build to get to this point. In real life, because of the legitimate, very serious medical situation Kenny Omega faced with diverticulitis. Yeah, it's scary stuff. Hangman and Ospreay. Have them do some sort of a... Have them fight. Just open the show with that. Just 10 minutes of Hangman and Ospreay just fighting. There have been worse ideas in pro wrestling. Maybe I won't open with it, but I'll put it there for now. A couple of promo segments, got a match there. Keeping an eye on the fatigue. You don't want to get too high going into the pay-per-view. Trying to keep your wrestlers from getting injured. There's always a risk regardless of the fatigue, but still, no need to add to the risk unnecessarily. I could have Christian Cage team up with Nick Wayne. So let's go tag team match. Two v 2, so I know who's going to be in the team. I can let them just choose for me. A Christian Cage, and where is Nick Wayne? There. I imagine at some point I'll move Nick Wayne over to Ring of Honor, but he's already got this program going over here in AEW with Christian Cage. Got a long build with that, so I'm not going to just throw that away to move Nick Wayne to ROH just because. All right, it's not to figure out who they're going to wrestle against. That's another part of the problem. All right. Could do something to set up Young Bucks in Private Party. It doesn't even have to be a program. It's just a rematch. from what happened in real life where Private Party beat them to win the tag team championship. Christian Cage and Nick Wayne against Austin and Colton Gunn. Book it. We need some women's segments or matches. Both, really. Feud present. Solo feud promo. You can't book more than one participant in this segment. All right. Mercedes. Solo feud promo. Give her a producer for it. Book it. I like the idea of opening the show. It's like a big fight with Hangman and Ospreay just fighting. Maybe the tag match, then the Mercedes promo. There's a match here. Or Lashley just destroy somebody. Or you'd be an upset. I don't know. Tony Storm wrestle. Be Tony Storm against Saraya. Star Power. Oh, did I pick match? I wish you would remember this part when you go over here, because it won't. I see no participants. Gotta do it again. Alright, so Tony Storm versus Saraya for Dynamite. In theory, I can open with that. But I really like the idea of that cold open just with the fight. Just Hangman and Ospreay just fighting. Something different to open the show. Maybe a video package. Maybe one more thing. Production. Video package. Darby Allin and Ricochet. There we go. Oh, can't book more than one participant. Feud package, even better. There we go. I'll tell Michael Rogers to get off the other task. What's he doing? Always do split interview. Do we not have somebody else who can do that? Guess not. I'll add it without the producer focus. We'll see what happens with that. Learning experience. We've got 16 people in for this next game of, make that 17, in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. If you want to get in on it, all you have to do is type !play in chat. Playing the game Journey of Wrestling. This is a business game. It's a business of pro wrestling. Trying to put together TV shows that'll draw viewers. There's a lot of nuance to it as far as what it'll let you do. But it's not so much that you absolutely drown in it. You just can't, where it takes forever to just get past the next week. Some games that's more difficult, there's more detail. With this, let's go with it. All right. Do it. Are you sure? Yes. To open this fight with Hangman and Ospreay. They went through an intense brawl at the local mini golf. What? 4 1/4 star. I won't complain. Give them both a boost. 100% efficiency. All right. Hole in one. Throw somebody into the windmill. Take a bump off it. All right. So Christian Cage and Nick Wayne against the Guns. A lot of times I won't choose who wins, but here I will. 3.5 stars. Christian Cage and Nick Wayne get the win. Mercedes gonna cut a promo on Britt Baker. Mercedes Moné told the fans a story about how Britt Baker is a terrible person. Sounds like slander to me. Potentially. Allegedly. The producer focus seemed to help though. It worked. 3 3/4. All right. Video package about Darby Allin and Ricochet. In-ring highlights. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. 5 stars. Guess they needed Michael Rogers for that feud package video. It worked. All right, Tony Storm against Saraya. Let's see who wins. Tony Storm defeats Saraya. Yeah, I can go with Tony Storm against Mariah May at the pay-per-view. And that would be the logical way to go with it from here. Even though I don't have a feud set up per se. They've already had kind of their... They've got a backstory already in AEW. All right, split interview with Omega and then Takeshita with Don Callis. The conversation got heated as they argued and verbally attacked each other. 3 3/4 stars. Main event. John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli against Swerve and Hook. With Prince Nana. Death Riders get the win over Hook and Swerve. 4 1/4 stars. They both sides get the pluses. That's usually a good thing. Let's see. What does it say over here? Updates. Hook and Swerve. They put on a hot match with Hot and Orange. Also a hot segment to open the show like I was thinking it would be with Hangman and Ospreay. And it's not exactly high-end thinking needed there with those two. Prestige. The prestigious feud package. All right, pretty good show. They give it 4 stars. Okay. Won't argue it. Better than what WWE had. Raw. Those 3-hour slogs. This goes in depth as far as these companies go. All Japan and DDT. Dragon Gate. Marigold's in here. Big Japan. MLW. Or even Rev Pro I got in there. Make sure they got in. And 19 people in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. If you want to join that list, all you have to do is type !play in chat. So to continue. Like that customized Women's World Championship in ROH for Athena. Jericho's at an 848 with popularity. There may be a reason to have a little bit of a chase for Bandito. Well, part of me wants to just put the belt on Bandito and just do it, but it doesn't have to be that way. I really want to keep ROH away from AEW, which is going to be really them not having their pay-per-views, or maybe I'll designate one spot for them. It's a little tough to do that with a game, the way they kind of weigh things, particularly from a major show perspective. People get perhaps agitated getting left off these big events, even if it's a Ring of Honor branded one. I think there might be potential for trouble with that. All right, so Ring of Honor. I don't have Jericho actually listed as Ring of Honor talent, but I should, so. Vacate. Unlearn trait. Reassure. We'll put Jericho over here on Ring of Honor. All right, so now if I go with Ring of Honor, I think it'll be a closer feel for what we have. I'd have Briscoe face Jericho first, and then we get to Bandito. Briscoe's at 772, Bandito's at what, 712? Don't have to rush it, but I could do that. Look, Paul White versus Ray Phoenix. That would be interesting. I don't know if that would be good for business, but it would be interesting. Lee Moriarty with the Pure Championship. And have him defend this on the show, possibly. Also, we're going to go with the champions. Although that won't split the Ring of Honor people off. You can't choose multiple buttons on here. It's one at a time. Filters. The word I was looking for there. If I get champion or I get Ring of Honor brand, but you can't get both. Moriarty's a heel. That'd be a good baby face I could put him in there with to defend this again. How about Metal Lake? Alright. Lee Moriarty defends the Pure Championship against Grand Metalik. Maybe the move with Jericho and Bandito. Hard to say just put the belt on Bandito and go with it. But Briscoe is at 772 popularity. Jericho versus Briscoe is the best match I can do right now with this particular list of people from a popularity standpoint. But really the idea I have here with Ring of Honor is to have it be a place where these younger wrestlers start to get pushed. And you get the older wrestlers that know every trick in the book and all the carny stuff and everything, to all the shortcuts to make the magic happen with the pro wrestling. Also, grizzled young veterans, like to give them a push. Also move over some more people. Lee Johnson got to keep working. I mean, his popularity is at 519. It's going to be a large hill to climb to get him over, but I'm going to make it happen. Determined. Got 24 players in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. I'll have that here in a few minutes. If you want to get in, you can do so by typing !play in chat. Moriarty versus Metalik. I don't know. I think I should go Jericho versus Bandito. And have Jericho retain somehow without making Bandito look weak. Then we go Jericho, Briscoe. Have them rematch. Then we go back to Jericho, Bandito. Maybe we do it that way. Or just have Bandito win the title. Jericho and Briscoe don't need the belt to have their feud continue. There's that idea as well. But then once Bandito's the champion, what do you do with him? There's also that. Preston Vance, he's somebody you could, the time, and you could have him develop into potentially a strong character. Maybe a feud to set up with Sammy and Dustin against the tag team would be a wise move. A few choices with that, but I think I've got to do Bandito versus Jericho. I may have Banditos beat him. Not on this show, but maybe next week's. Let me do a... So Dustin Rhodes is actually a double champion. Okay, he's the tag champ and six-man champ. Okay. That might need to change. And look, the Von Erichs, I know all about their legend and the Dallas Sportatorium and all that. Saw Kerry Von Erich wrestle many years ago. All right. Dustin, 54-year-old Dustin Rhodes with 2 different championships in my company that I want to have for the younger wrestlers to kind of develop. Bit of a challenge. So let's see. Or I can leave the 6-man belts where they are. Set up Gibson and Drake. Maybe that'll be a 6-man tag I'll do here. Gibson, Drake, and somebody against Sammy, Dustin, and somebody. Or we can just have the tag match here and now. Just switch the belts to open the show. But I don't know about that. Maybe not quite that. A little more build than just out of nowhere for no reason. At some point I will have to look over in the AEW side on some other talent to bring over, but I don't want to do too much too fast with that. Jeff Jarrett against Shane Taylor. Although actually with this, I do need to take some more care with this. I actually want to book the winners and losers. Get used to doing it the other way. So I do want to, well, maybe, let's see. Okay, let's not do it that way. All right, I know what we can do right here. We can play some Twitchy Tides. We got 26 players in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. I'll join right now as well with exclamation point play in chat. So for this next game, again, for the top 10 finishers, you'll be looking at leaderboard points for that monthly competition. Only a few days left here in this one. We're trying to secure their spots either for a top 150 or top 75 or even top 25. In addition, for the winner, the prize is a Blockchain Brawlers attack card, plus an item from the NashvilleLou collection. Give you a boost in the game Meta Battler. If I happen to win, which has already happened once tonight, but if I happen to win again, then the prize goes to the second place finisher. 27 players. Game number 4 of the broadcast begins now. Good luck. It's Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. Cannonball takes out Zach, Mydruja, and Jamie down to 24. Pink Felicia, I'm out. As is Cesaro NLV. We're down to 22. It's Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. It's Debo. Debo got stuck there coming in. Chompers took out Rising Dragons. Get Notorious Ninja as well. We're down to 20. Now it's Debo. Autumn's Toys with that super spin dealt with Debo right away. No harm caused there by the Shark. The battle continues. We're down to 20. And it's Pink Felicia zapping Aegis 2017 and Fonny T down to 18. Bo Reddington with that Lambo, making it rain as a cannonball cuts through. Taking out CTR Heels fan, Autumn's Toys, and Jakey, down to 15. Man C is out along with Kyung Wei, down to 13. More than half the field is out. Debo the Shark chomping away. Taking out Azile, then getting shocked there by SDME with the Pikachu. We're down to 11, so we're close to that cut line for a top 10 finish and leaderboard points. Here's Debo. Debo chomping away, takes out Tree Frog Nada. So all remaining players, you got a top 10 finish. Jyball gets taken out there by Debo just before leaving the screen. But gets a top 10 finish nonetheless, but we're down to 9. Return of Debo, going left to right this time. Debo eliminates Master Halo and Winterfell. Down to 7. Pink Felicia eliminates Parrot and Unmada. We're down to 5. Bo Reddington makes it rain again, underwater. Throwing those dollar bills out there. Cannonball up high, misses everybody. Going top shelf, nobody home. Cannonball this time going the low road. That takes out Hussein. We're down to the final 4. Naznara, Viper Czar, SDME 1, 2, 3. Bo Reddington, the final 4. Pink Felicia going left to right. It's going to zap Viper and Naznara. We're down to the final 2. Bo Reddington and SDME 1, 2, 3. SDME with that Pikachu. Shocking. Felicia there. As Bo Reddington makes it rain with that Lambo going off screen. On the left part here, you can see, left side, it's Big Worm, that hook is set. We begin with 27 players. We're down to the final 2. Bo Reddington and SDME 1, 2, 3. Here on NashvilleLou Live. A freeze by SDME. Big Worm finally gave up there. Disappeared with a hook. Depth charge. See up there, that upper right part of your screen. That ominous blinking red. Both players desperately need to avoid that. Bo Reddington using the Lambo. That's one way to avoid it. Go get some cash. Splash some cash, literally. Then Bo Reddington hits the depth charge with a boom, and that's going to do it. Quite the battle there at the end. Congratulations to SDME 1, 2, 3. Victorious here in game number 4 of the broadcast. Right. Top 10 finishers. You've earned leaderboard points. That monthly competition. The higher the finish, the more points you earn, all the way up to number 1. And your winner, SDME 1, 2, 3. Open now for our next Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast with exclamation point play in chat. Getting back at it here with Journey of Wrestling here on NashvilleLou Live. So I'm trying to book Ring of Honor, but I've really kind of been pulled into booking AEW as well because the auto booker just really can't put on a reliable product. With this, trying to make sure I actually choose the matches where that's one of the things in pro wrestling, you can pick the winners. Kind of like MMA or boxing. Usually. Special attraction match, Paul White versus Ray Phoenix. I could do that. They're both baby faces, so I'm not sure if that dynamic's going to really... Paul White versus Shane Taylor would be a spectacle, if nothing else. For the one match thus far. The idea with Ring of Honor is to have this be a place where this young talent can get over and develop and all of that. Where is Lee Johnson? There he is. Underneath Beef. Not a good sign because he's down at 519 popularity. Could have Lee Johnson and EJ and Duke team up in a tag match. I could have them just beat with the tag titles here from Sammy and Dustin. And Duke is 34, but it's tough for athletes from other sports that come in a little bit later. I mean, of course, the flip side is, okay, yes, somebody like Terry Gordy was a main eventer at the age of 18, but it did not end well for Terry Gordy. All right. I think the better idea is let's open the show with something the fans popping. Have Commander defend the television title here. I think that's the move. Do a rematch of the match I saw in Nashville, Commander versus Ray Phoenix. It's also a face versus face match, just like it would be here. Absolutely spectacular. Could do that. The Commander's 24. It's easy to forget that. With the mask and all, it's tough to tell us some of the guys. He's the kind of guy I definitely would want to push in Ring of Honor. I say let's do it. Commander versus Ray Phoenix. TV title match over the show. There. Cena right here. Heat promo. We'll do that for Athena. Add producer focus. Produce it up. Bit of fatigue there for Jack Perry. Billy Starks. Have her in a match. Billy Starks against Abaddon. Oh, I've got to flip over from segment to match. So I'll have to make me do it again. Billy Starks. Abaddon. Book it. As far as the storylines and the feuds, Jericho and Bandito, something there. If I have them have a title match the next week. One for championship. Be a fight. Fight. Roster. Already got 17 people in for this next Twitchy Tides game. The insatiable demand for more and more with Twitchy Tides. I love it. If you want to get in and you're not in yet, you can do so by typing !play in chat. I'm trying to put together this Ring of Honor TV show here for Journey of Wrestling. Company owned by the same person that owns All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan. I end up handling a lot of AEW stuff as well, but really this is my focus, to try and make some new stars here, some young stars. So Billy Starks and Harley Cameron so I'll have Billy Starks beat Abaddon, then Harley Cameron can do something after the match. After-match attack. Billy Starks and Harley Cameron. All right, well, we'll forego the ad producer focus to it. Make it sure it goes in a logical place. I won't really do that for you. So let's see. You got 5 spots filled here. You got a Commander Ray Phoenix match. Will be a great way to start the show. Even though they're both baby faces, it doesn't matter. Like, I saw it in person in real life, so I know it would be great. Billy Starks and Abaddon. Attack there. With a match between the attack and the fight. We need something for here, for sure. Playing the game Journey of Wrestling here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game coming up here in a little bit. If you want to get in on that, you can do so right now by typing !play in chat. Some more Ring of Honor. Let's see. People that are actually designated for it. Right, Mark Briscoe. Have him wrestle here. What a Bandito singles? Well, no, the Banditos be involved with that Jericho match. So. Or match that angle right there. That fight. To actually pick match. I saved myself the effort of not having to redo this. I still think Ray Phoenix versus Paul White something I should try. Just to see what happens. Sit him out there with no finish and see what happens. Now, some of these people down here are not what I would call young talent. Like Nice is 37. Griff Garrison's all the way down, what, 450 popularity. That's tough. Down bad, man. Now, why can't I use Pat Buck as a producer? That's what he does. But I guess they don't really classify it this way. Or Kevin Matthews down at the very bottom. What do I have to do? I don't get a match. I'm 40. Book me. I'd love to give Bronson and Boulder their Bear Country gimmick back, because that stuff they have now, the beefcake stuff, is just go away heat. It's like AEW should not be doing stuff that makes you embarrassed if somebody else were to walk into the room at that point. That happens far too much in pro wrestling. Hey, it's Tony Khan's company, not mine. Now, PJ Black would be interesting to use in here. 43. But he can still go. At least I think he can. In game he can. That's what matters, I guess. I had PJ Black in there. I go Preston Vance against PJ Black. Let's try that. We'll move that between the aftermatch attack and the fight. That's guys with 6 segments. Maybe I'll do one more, like a video package about somebody. Or a Mark Briscoe promo. Segments. Mark Briscoe. A semi-generic backstage interview. Just give Mark Briscoe the microphone. He can handle it. All right. Well, they can go from the aftermatch attack to the back to the pre-tape with Mark Briscoe. And you got Preston Vance against PJ Black. I'd like to give Preston Vance a bit of a push here. So get him. He's been waiting a long time. But join the club there in AEW. The day one people had been stuck in the same holding pattern for a long time. They really didn't do anything with Dustin and Sammy. I could add a quick promo for somebody to challenge them or to set something up. Segment tag. Sons of Texas and Grizzled Young Veterans. We already have fight on this show. And an attack. Let's go to the generic catch-all promo battle. A bit more talking on this show than the norm, but that gives a little bit of a buffer between the after-match attack and the fight. Could switch Athena to later. And move the Sons of Texas down here. There, so it's a hot match for the television title to open the show. Then you set up something with the tag champs. Build up Billy Starks a bit more with that program with Harley Cameron. After-match attack. Then you go to Mark Briscoe, saying Mark Briscoe type things. It would be exceptionally difficult to try and script it the way that Mark Briscoe delivers it. He's unique. Then you got Preston Vance, PJ trying to get Preston a bit of a push. Athena with a promo. And the fight with Jericho and Bandita. A lot to get into one show. And finally, main event, Lee Moriarty versus Metalik. See how this goes. Got 20 players into this next Twitchy Tides game. If you want to join the list, all you have to do is type !play in chat. All right, let's run this show. Are you sure? Yes. Commander versus Ray Phoenix for the TV title. Commander's going to win. 4-star match to open the show. Big boost for Commander. Bit of a hit there for Ray Phoenix. Sorry, pal. Promo battle. Sammy and Dustin with Grizzled Young Veterans. 4 1/4. That's a good start. They slammed each other's lack of charisma. Billy Starks against Abaddon. Billy Starks gets the win. 2 3/4. Now the post-match angle. So Harley Cameron comes out to put a beat down on Billy Starks. There we go. I was really more interested in the star rating for that than the... Abaddon with that gimmick has some limitations. I'm not complaining at all about 4 1/4 stars for that post-match. You got a couple of promo battles that have gone well. Or segments that are non-matches, along with that 4-star match to open the show. Continue. Mark Briscoe. Talks about how no one is above him. 3 3/4, just fine with the interview. Preston Vance against the blue line means that somebody's on a per-date deal. It's not like you can book them over and over. There's a set number of dates. I'm not sure it even shows it here. 6 appearances. See, it does show it. Part-time appearances are used up in matches, but not in segments. Oh. Well, that's helpful to know. Only a 3-star match, but all right. Promo from Athena. Demeaned the city and promised to never return to it. All right, not the best promo from her. In spite of that producer focus. Oh. All right, now Jericho and Bandito. An intense brawl in the VIP catering section. There we go. 4 3/4-star fight with Jericho and Bandito. There's my main event program. 100% efficiency or effectiveness. Both. Hardcore, I'll take them both. Continue. Main event. Lee Moriarty puts the Pure Championship on the line against Metalik. I'll have Moriarty retain. 4 1/4 stars. Crowd interest, which is encouraging. So overall for the show, got to scroll down a bit to see this. 4 stars. Very good. The overness increased from popular to hot. Things are moving in the right direction here for Ring of Honor. Speaking of moving in the right direction, we got 20 players in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. I take my hourly break now. On the other side of this break, we'll have this next game of Twitchy Tides. If you're not in yet and you want to get in, you can do so by typing !play in chat. It's NashvilleLou Live. Stay tuned. All right, back on headset with you here on NashvilleLou Live. We got 21 players in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. And a reminder, I'm going to have Tides Tuesday coming up, slated for 10 p.m. Eastern. That's New Year's Eve. At least for maybe a couple of time zones, we'll have some Happy New Year moments in the broadcast. That's coming up this Tuesday, New Year's Eve, 10 p.m. Eastern. With Twitchy Tides and Tides Tuesday here on NashvilleLou Live. So we got 22 players in for this next game of Twitchy Tides. Let me bring down my overlay and join as well. I'll get in with exclamation point play. I'll use the Rainbow Soul the Catfish in my 1 spot. If you don't choose a number between 1 through 5, it'll default to the fish you have in the number 1 spot on your Twitchy team. Makes it very easy to switch between fish. It's not unlike what you see with the marbles game, the marbles on stream. For people that are into that with a bunch of different options, they kind of switch it up that way. Similar line of thinking with this. So you're looking for a top 10 finish here because that's going to mean leaderboard points for that monthly competition. Only a few days left here for December. In addition, for the winner, the prize is a Blockchain Brawlers attack card, plus an item from the NashvilleLou collection. It'll give you a boost in the new game, Meta Battler. Let's go through this list of participants. You got Autumn's Toys, Notorious Ninja, Bonnie T, Hussein Muhammad, CTR Heels Fan, Jakey Joe, SDME123, Azile, DeBoer JS, Ajiba, Bo Reddington, Mancy, Bulk the Bear, Winterfell, Tree Frog Nada, Aegis 2017, Hyung Wei, Jamie Penguins, Nadu 6, Zach Bonifer, me, NashvilleLou, Rising Dragons, and Cesaro NLV. And Mod, if you can hear me, it's asking you to confirm. So please be sure you do that. Maybe for somebody to miss out here. Herod is then to give us 24. All right, so 24 players. If I happen to win, that first place prize goes to the second place finisher. Game number 5 of the broadcast begins now. Good luck. We begin with 24 players. Right away, it's Debo the Shark. Debo taking out Tree Frog Nada and Hussein. We're down to 22. And now it's Big Worm with a hook. Takes out Nadu 6 and Rising Dragons. We're down to 20. I might have something broadcast-wise for later today, tomorrow, whatever. It starts to run together after a while. A Saturday broadcast of some sort, potentially here. So, to be determined on that. We had the hook there. Zyle's out along with Aegis 2017. And now that cannonball almost missed everybody, but it clipped Winterfell on the way out, down to 17. Depth charge. Takes out Bulk the Bear, takes out my Soul the Catfish, down to 15. It's Pink Felicia, taking out Man C and Jamie Penguins. Down to 13. Remember, players are looking for a top 10 finish to get leaderboard points. We're getting close to that cut line here with 13 remaining. There's Big Worm with a hook taking out Fawny T. Half the field is out. We're down to a dozen. Debo the Shark chomping away. Takes out Notorious Ninja and Parrot. So we're down to 10. So for the remaining players, you've earned a top 10 finish. Get those leaderboard points, but who's going to be the winner? Depth charge. 4JS and Bo Reddington are out. And we're down to 10, or down to 8. We were at 10. Now down to 6 with Big Worm and that hook eliminating SDME and Zach Bonifer. We began with 24. We're down to 6. Young Wei with that dual shot command with that T64 game controller fish. And now it's Pink Felicia knocking out Ajiba and Kyung Wei. We're down to 4. It's Cesaro NLV, Autumn's Toys, Jakey Joe, CTR Heels Fan. Up top, Debo the Shark. And it looks like Debo's going to miss everybody. Now Pink Felicia going left to right. Came close to Autumn's Toys, but missed. Takes out Cesaro NLV. We're getting dealt with that super spin. Down to the final 3. Jakey Joe, CTR Heels Fan, and Autumn's Toys. And look at that depth charge. A freeze by Autumn's Toys. CTR Heels Fan hits the depth charge, which also takes out Jakey, and that's the game. Congratulations, Autumn's Toys, with the victory here. Game number 5 of the broadcast. All right, so a fun couple hours here with Journey of Wrestling. Got in some Twitchy Tides games. So again, later on Saturday, today, tomorrow, all the terms start to blend together with this worldwide audience we have here. But I anticipate having something, maybe some more Journey of Wrestling with Twitchy Tides, maybe something else to be determined. We'll see on that. But I know that Sensei Bullrog is live right now, so let's do a raid over there in just a moment. But first, I'll do a SIG out, so I have a place to have a cut point for that video on demand. I'll make a highlight out of this broadcast so it sticks around indefinitely on Twitch. Not always 5, just the way it was for this broadcast. I went more than 5 hours yesterday. Just the way it was this time with the games. There's more games to be had out there. So we'll do a raid over to Sensei in a moment. But first, the SIG out. That's going to do it for this broadcast of NashvilleLou Live. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.